Despite not sharing a border, Cambodia and China have developed very close economic ties over the past 10 years. Phnom Penh is one of the most active partners in Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to increase economic support for countries to expand China's influence in the region. However, the strong wave of Chinese investment in Cambodia, especially in the real estate sector, is leaving many consequences. In Sihanoukville, a coastal city in southern Cambodia, many Chinese real estate investment projects were abandoned when the market bubble burst. Abandoned high-rise buildings, lying in the middle of construction, have created a heavy burden on the local economy. A typical example is the case of Ban Sombo, who leased 750 square meters of land to build a 10-story apartment building. The project was promised to be completed in 2021 with attractive rental prices. But COVID-19 sent Chinese investors home, and the project remains unfinished. The problem of ghost buildings like this is not limited to Sihanoukville. According to city government figures, there are about 360 unfinished buildings and 170 completed but unused buildings. Sihanoukville was once called the second Macau thanks to the rapid development of Chinese-funded casinos and luxury projects. But the pandemic has caused a sharp decline in tourism, with the number of Chinese visitors to Cambodia in 2023 expected to fall to 550,000, down 77% from pre-pandemic levels. The investment slowdown after the pandemic is a result of many factors, including the Cambodian government's strict control of casinos and the difficulties of the Chinese real estate market. Cambodia is estimated to need $1.1 billion to complete unfinished projects in Sihanoukville. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet has introduced investment incentives such as tax breaks. But given the difficult global economic climate, these efforts have not yet yielded tangible results. However, Cambodia remains heavily dependent on Chinese capital. In 2022, more than 90% of the $1.9 billion in foreign investment in Cambodia came from China. Cambodian officials also admit that, while they want to diversify their investment sources, filling the void left by China's withdrawal is a major challenge. Meanwhile, diplomatic ties between the two countries remain strong. In April 2024, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi affirmed that China will continue to be Cambodia's most trusted partner, stressing that this support is a key driving force for Cambodia's economic and social development. King Norodom Sihamoni also appreciated China's assistance, saying that the friendship between the two countries will continue to endure for generations. However, alongside praise for this partnership, there are still concerns about Cambodia's over-reliance on China. Large Chinese-invested real estate projects in Phnom Penh have also caused consequences, when the real estate market boom exceeded actual demand, leaving empty high-rise buildings in the heart of the city. Although Cambodia has chosen China as its main partner because of its large investments, rapid and unsustainable development could expose the country to many risks in the long term. Before the appearance of more than 500 ghost buildings in Sihanoukville, Phnom Penh was also experiencing a real estate boom largely fueled by an influx of Chinese money. In 2018, the Cambodian capital recorded one of the fastest real estate booms in the world, thanks in large part to investors from Beijing. When Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Phnom Penh in October 2016 to expand the Belt and Road Initiative, he brought with him hundreds of Chinese investors, pushing land and real estate prices in the Cambodian capital to record levels. Phnom Penh, once famous for its French colonial architecture and Khmer cultural heritage, is now filled with high-rise buildings and expensive apartments, with the average Cambodian household income only about $11,000 a year. Luxury apartment projects are far beyond the means of local residents. The real estate market is clearly in oversupply. causing both sales and rentals to decline. Meanwhile, few Cambodians can afford to buy these apartments, leading to many large developments being left empty. Chinese developers, who have no real interest in the needs of Cambodians, have built projects and simply waited for Chinese investors to buy them. This has left many buildings empty, especially in riverside areas like Tonle Basak. Before 2011, Phnom Penh did not have any buildings over 15 stories high. The city used to be a harmonious blend of old villas and Buddhist temples. However, in recent years, with a strong wave of real estate investment from China, the city's appearance has changed significantly. High-rise apartment buildings have sprung up rapidly. But this has not always benefited local residents. Thousands of families have been forced to leave their homes to make way for real estate projects. A typical example is the Born Kak area, which used to be a large lake in the center of Phnom Penh. The lake has been filled in for real estate development, causing dissatisfaction and great damage to the people living nearby. Cambodia has turned to China as a strategic partner because of the lure of large investments and easy loans. But its rapid and uncontrolled growth is having unintended consequences. Cambodia now owes China nearly half of its $6 billion in foreign debt. This has raised concerns that Cambodia could become too dependent on Beijing and lose its independence in economic and foreign policy decisions. Cambodia needs to develop strategies to better manage Chinese investments to avoid future problems. According to May Kalyan, senior advisor to the National Economic Council, we should not let one country invest too much in our economy. He warned, although foreign direct investment in Cambodia nearly doubled to $6.3 billion in 2017, the majority still comes from China. In the near future, China has pledged to continue pouring another $7 billion into major infrastructure projects, including a highway linking Phnom Penh to Sihanoukville. However, most of these projects do not bring much direct benefit to Cambodians, especially in the real estate sector, where only Chinese investors buy luxury apartments. While the partnership with China offers many opportunities for development, Cambodia also faces many challenges. Unsustainable real estate development projects, heavy dependence on Chinese capital flows, and unbalanced changes in the economy are forcing the country to find ways to adjust. The Cambodian government has made moves to attract investment from other countries, while diversifying the economy to reduce dependence on China. But whether these efforts are enough to ensure sustainable development for Cambodia remains an open question. Cambodia is at a crossroads between taking advantage of the relationship with China and avoiding the potential risks of overdependence. The country's success will depend on how it balances economic, political, and social factors in a rapidly changing regional and global context. In Phnom Penh, the real estate boom has created rapid changes to the city skyline. Before 2011, no building was taller than 15 stories. But now skyscrapers dominate the landscape. Old villas and modern Khmer architecture from the 1960s have been replaced by luxury condominiums and large shopping malls. However, most of these luxury apartments remain unoccupied. They were mainly bought by Chinese investors who do not live in Cambodia and do not rent them out, leaving many newly developed areas deserted and lifeless. This creates a stark contrast between the new developments and the rest of Phnom Penh. While locals struggle to make ends meet, the high-rise buildings that do not light up at night are a testament to the inadequacy of overdevelopment without careful planning. Many massive real estate projects have been launched but lack buyers and do not meet the actual needs of the market.
The cases of Phnom Penh and Sihanoukville illustrate the challenges facing Cambodia. Rapid development fueled by Chinese money may bring immediate benefits, but if not managed well, it can have negative long-term consequences. The lack of proper planning and balanced development leaves the economy vulnerable to international fluctuations. especially when Chinese investment declines. Cambodia also needs to focus on ensuring that this development does not harm the country's culture and society. Many Cambodians have been directly affected by real estate projects, having been forced to leave their homes and lose their livelihoods. Development projects need to be sustainable and benefit all levels of society, not just a group of foreign investors.
Cambodia is at a critical juncture in its economic development journey. The relationship with China offers great opportunities, but also many risks. Cambodian leaders need to find ways to diversify their investment sources and develop a more sustainable economy, without relying too much on one country or sector. In the future, if Cambodia can manage the flow of investment from China well, while considering the country's long-term interests, it can build a stronger and more sustainable economy. However, if it continues to rely too much on China without adjustment, the country could face major economic and social challenges in the future. Cambodia needs to learn from its own lessons and those of other countries in the region, and adjust its development strategy to ensure that its economy not only grows rapidly, but also sustainably and equitably for all its people. In the context of the world economy facing many fluctuations, Cambodia needs a strategy to ensure long-term and sustainable development. Although taking advantage of investments from China brings great opportunities, if not carefully managed, the country may fall into a state of overdependence and have difficulty in ensuring economic independence, increasingly attracting foreign investment from many other countries, while developing domestic industrial and service sectors is a necessary direction to reduce dependence on a single source of capital. The Cambodian government also needs to ensure that development projects will benefit the people, create jobs and improve the quality of life, instead of focusing only on luxury real estate projects that do not meet the actual needs of local people. Despite the challenges, it is undeniable that the relationship between Cambodia and China has been, is and will continue to be important to Cambodia's development. China remains the country's largest trading partner and most important source of foreign investment. As cooperation between the two countries continues to strengthen, Cambodia needs to find ways to take advantage of these opportunities wisely and strategically. In April 2024, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi stressed that China will always be a reliable partner of Cambodia, and that China's development will bring new opportunities to Cambodia. However, it is important that Cambodia takes advantage of these opportunities to create a more sustainable and independent economy, avoiding the trap of over-reliance on a single country. The coming years will be a critical time for Cambodia to reassess its development strategy. The country needs to continue to expand its cooperation with countries other than China, while promoting sustainable economic sectors such as tourism, agriculture and light manufacturing. This will not only help Cambodia reduce the risks of dependence on China, but also create a diversified economy that is ready to cope with global fluctuations. Cambodia has experienced a development process with many ups and downs in the past decade. But with a wise and sustainable development strategy, the country can create a brighter future for its people. Cambodia is facing many great opportunities, but also many challenges. The partnership with China brings much-needed investment capital for development, especially in the fields of infrastructure and real estate. However, over-reliance on one source of capital can pose risks to the economy if there is no diversification in investment and development. In the future, the Cambodian government needs to continue to maintain a balance between cooperation with China and seeking more investment sources from many countries around the world. This will help create a diversified and less dependent economy, ensuring sustainable development and long-term stability for the country. The development of key sectors such as agriculture, tourism and industrial production also needs to be focused on to ensure that all Cambodians have the opportunity to benefit from economic development, encouraging domestic enterprises to develop, while expanding international trade relations. will be decisive factors in taking Cambodia to a new stage of development. In general, Cambodia's future depends largely on how effectively it can manage international cooperation and develop its domestic economy. It is not only about attracting investment, but also about optimizing the benefits that such investment brings to build a strong, independent and prosperous country.